What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
I mean, you guys betted on commandments.
Listen up now.
Made a small fortune.
Drop it now. Beat the odds, beat the big house.
Heard the word commandment twice on Alex Jones's show, and that was a sign from God to bet horses. Jesus always a fan of gambling on horses, I believe.
Let the world burn away.
As far as I know.
We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
All right, starting Facebook again. I accidentally started it earlier, but welcome, losers. Atsuko canceled the show last night. I don't know what her deal was. She's uncontrollable. That's all I can say. I don't know what to say. We've tried and tried to see eye to eye. It's just not happening. I don't know. We're gonna have to have an intervention. Like, and do share now, share now. It was not a good reason. I doubt it. It's never a good reason, honestly. So. I'll refresh that. Okay, play the intro.
Hey
Okay,
Daddies,
it was
it's
not
me,
me, it
Linda
was you.
Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Binda land. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, everybody. I don't want to jinx anything, but if you bet on the horse that God told Alex Jones to tell Bort Are we millionaires yet? The name of the horse was Commandment. How well did it do? Probably first or second, right? At least. Maybe it's the only horse that finished. It was literally a statement from God that told Bort through Alex Jones to bet on the horse Commandment. Let's check the results. Seven. Oh. That's not great. Bort said that he was thinking about betting on the Derby, and he was talking to his buddy about betting on the Derby, and his buddy told him all the horses' names. Then he went and hours later was watching Alex Jones, and they were talking about the commandments from the Bible, then other commandments, then this commandment. And I was like, how many times are you going to say commandment? And he called his buddy back and said, what are the odds on commandment? And his buddy said the odds were like 6-1, 7-1. And he's like, put it all on commandments. I don't know, folks. That's just how he know. That's how he's going to day trade as well. He said, this is what I do. I notice things that other people don't notice. That's why I'm going to start trading. That's why I bet on horses. The Bort knows. The Bort always knows. He sees stuff that us mere mortals can't.
You may or may not, because a lot of you guys are watching on smaller screens, so you may or may not recognize the difference.
He thinks he improved his show. I can see less now, but he thinks he improved his show, so there we go.
I guess we'll see here shortly. I've had a couple of days off, have had quite a bit of drama going on that I've been dealing with, and some of it I'm going to keep to myself until it's resolved. And then
I would.
Explain it all to you guys. I have to learn to stop sharing everything in my life. It gives the enemy, and apparently there is an enemy. You would think a guy that's just doing a simple talk show.
Who's the enemy?
About the news and talking to friends he's made online wouldn't have to worry about being harassed, but that's just not.
Like what he said, what he says in a second when he's showing clips on this show, on this TV back here. Can you guys see that TV better now? All I see is a giant reflection of a light, and I can't see. I can't make out anything on that TV. Like, I know that's his logo because I know his logo, but if I didn't, I'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Not the case. Just not the case. Is it Shadow? Is it baby? Huh? What do you think about that?
Oh, chicken legs. We did get chicken legs this episode. I was wondering if we were going to get any more chicken legs. We did. Oh, double dipping. Chicken legs. Chicken legs and flip-flops.
Yeah, you wait.
He's a 70-year-old man wearing camo cargo shorts and thong sandals.
Weren't you?
What a fucking winner, dude.
I think you were. I had to go turn the air conditioner back on. It for some reason it keeps resetting itself for 78 degrees, and I keep forgetting to go over there, and I don't have a manual for it. It's one of those digital things that, anyway, I know it's.
I will give you this hint, Bort, because I know you watch my show. All you do is go over to your thermostat. Maybe it's Honeywell, maybe it's some other brand. You just type in the brand, model number, and everything you could imagine. How to program it, how to do motion sensors, how to put time limits on everything you could imagine is available on the internet.
There's probably a fix to that. And one of these days I'll remember that I should go spend some time on it and try to fix it. Okay, all right, well.
Like a cartoon character.
Some issues here that require me.
Every day, same outfit, cartoon character. I always wear like dark colors, but damn, at least I'm changing my shirt.
To ask the audience to participate in helping out a little bit. What I'd like to do is remind you that we operate here in the studio only because the audience helps me pay some of the bills with donations. And I know it's the first of the month, and that may.
We operate here in my studio only because the audiences, right? They watch the show. Also, again, shout out to Bort, helping me buy my first home. You know, without his exposure, I don't think we would have made it. It's a beautiful home. Wait till you see it, Bort. It's all thanks to you. If you weren't on here complaining about me every day, we might not have this special moment between us, you know? And that's sad.
may or may not be a better time for you to help, or it might be a worse time. I don't know. But we certainly do need some help tonight, especially. I've got a couple things that are very, very important that are pending. If you can make a donation tonight, please use Zelle or PayPal. And all you need is bert@bertlynch.com, and you can send it over. We are in the middle of some issues that require me to spend some money to fix it. I will tell you about it in detail a little bit later on next week. But for now, trust me when I tell you, I just need the audience to help out. We ask that you give us a thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm. It also helps if you follow. Those things give Rumble an incentive to help.
Legend. If Bort joined the military when he was 18, what year would he have joined?
Help us.
Exactly me.
Allison Marie says you may have settings to be cut off. They probably have it set to auto cut off or something. That is correct. But it's just
yeah, I can hear sort of an echo in my headphones. Hold on. On my voice, like a feedback.
very tiny, and I can't see well enough to figure it out yet. I will do it. I'll get it figured out. I've got to look it up. I'm sure that I go on YouTube and find a tutorial and tell me how to do it. I just keep forgetting. And instead of fixing it, I get up 3 times, 4 times a day and reset it to the temperature I want it to be.
Hold on. I'll restart my audio engine. Give me just a second.
This was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing...
I know you guys can hear that in the video and you can hear me, but I can't. Why can't I hear it? It should have came back by now. We fucked it all up for an echo that I still feel like I hear. Wait, maybe did that clean it up? I just heard something go away.
How quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf.
Oh, well, hold on. Yeah, I know. I have to plug it back in. That'll be a minute though.
Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him. And he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly
I got my audio
secure
back.
building. And
what's it sound like now? I still hear something. It's almost like it's in my mic when I'm talking too loud. Hold on. I don't know. It's still there. I don't know what that is. I hear something. It doesn't matter. I'm going through with it now.
I guess it gives me something to do. Anyway, yeah, we need your help. So if you can subscribe, the subscriptions are helpful because they add to the income the show makes at the beginning of the year. We didn't do many shows last month, as many shows as I normally do, and we didn't have as many viewers as we normally do. So the revenue from Rumble.
If you're not doing as many shows, that's you, right? That's you. You didn't do as many shows.
Was down, and that has to change. So I've got a couple things I'm working on that's going to make that better, but it takes time. This new job that I'm going to be doing, my online trading, the training is going well. I will point out to you, and we'll get started.
I wonder if he's being scammed by one of these like coaching services about becoming an online trader.
Here, right at this point, if you guys remember, I told you that we were going, that I believe that the
becoming an online trader.
Here, right at this point.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. I hear myself there.
That the
online trader.
Here, right at this point.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. I hear myself there.
I believe that the
online trader.
Here, right at this point.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. All right, let's stop all that for a second. And I'm going to do a mic test. Hold on. All right, here we go. I think Bort is being scammed, taking one of these high-level online trader courses. We'll see. High-level online trader courses. We'll see. It does kind of sound like I'm in a bathroom or something. Oh, well.
Stock market was going to hit 50,000 by the 1st of May. How many of you remember me saying that? I told everybody, I said, you wait and see by the 1st of May, we're going to see 50,000, and we're also going to see an end to this conflict. Well, today, Donald Trump announced the conflict is over, and that now we're just a police force policing the blockade, but that the war, the attacks have ceased to happen, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. Now, there are...
So Donald Trump just said the war's over. Bort predicted that. He nailed it, right? He told everybody the war would be over in 60 days. And because Donald Trump just says the war's over, then it's over.
Are people saying that he's doing that just to get around the War Powers Act? Because it is 60 days in, and now he's supposed to ask the federal government or the Congress for permission to continue to be at war. He says we're not at war, we're in a ceasefire. And so I don't have to ask. That's what he said. Gee, I wonder where yours truly came up with that 60 days ago. So Robert says, yes, you told us about the stock market. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Right.
He's making this big thing about the stock market, the Dow hitting 50,000, and how he predicted that it was going to do it by the end of April, but now it's going to do it. It already hit it. It hit it on like February 5th or 6th. You're predicting something that already happened, bro.
Right here. I said by May 1st it was going to hit 50,000. As you guys can see, I think you can probably see the screen a little better now, at least because of the change I made. It closed today at 49,499. It closed down 152 points. At the open this morning, it went to 49,978. 22 points short of 50,000.
This is almost like what is it when you're confirmation biased, right? He's like, yeah, and when Pam Bondi said it actually hadn't hit 50,000 yet, but it was really close, and it did hit 50,000 in the next couple of days. He thinks he would be a really good trader. I don't know why. Delusions of grandeur, I'm assuming. But in his confirmation bias, he's like, oh, I said this, and now it's doing it, so that means I'd be a really good trader. Are you trading on whether the Dow will hit $50,000 by the end of April? Because you would have lost that bet, right? If you're betting post-February, and the Dow would be at 50K again, for the second time, apparently, you don't know, by the end of April, you would have lost that bet, right? You're still, like, it still hasn't hit it, and now we're in May.
Does anybody want to go, boy? Bert, that was pretty darn close. You said 50, and it got within 22 points of 50. It did at the last minute go down 152 points.
I mean, this is like saying, I bet the Padres would win, okay? And the Padres are playing another team, and they lose by 1 run. And he's like, man, anybody want to say, hey, Bert, you were close. You were close, Bort. You still lost the bet, right?
So it'll be Monday, and we'll get a kick Monday because of the jobs expectations were much lower, and it turned out that we got a lot more jobs this last quarter than they expected by a lot. And
every time we've had the jobs numbers, they've been predicted slightly higher than what they were when the initial reports came in, and they've been lowered. But whatever.
The earnings are coming in. It's going to make a difference. So there it is, right? There's the spot if you can see my mouse right here, you can see the mouse, and the mouse comes to right there. And that was this morning. Does it say what time? No, not really. It was around right at the open, just as it opened, basically. And then it closed down, like I said, 152 points. So there it is. That is about a pretty close prediction.
So you're showing us the Dow Jones opened and fell all day long. Nailed it.
Do you want my pick for the
Here we go.
this weekend?
Here we go. You want a sure bet, guys? Now Bort's not going to bet horses because he doesn't have any money. God, I hope he took this $20 donation and put it all on commandment.
That's somebody letting me know they're going to be late to watch the show. Was not a donation. So anyway, do you want to know my pick for the weekend? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I'm picking it. We're talking about the Derby.
You guys have seen the job growth chart through Trump, right? Like, okay, Trump was in office, jobs had been growing under Obama or whatever. They're like growing. COVID hits, it drops, right? It never really gets anywhere near where it was before COVID. Then Biden comes in and it starts cranking back up, right? And we're back above where we were pre-COVID. And then Trump comes back in and it tapers back off flat again.
A friend of mine is a big horse bettor. It's like his favorite thing to do. He's himself a professional horse bettor. I was asking him what his picks were and who he thought was going to be out there and running. He says,
even when you remove all of the, so people are like, well, you know, Trump got rid of government jobs. That's what Biden was doing. He was just making a bunch of government, even if you only do private sector jobs, it's the same exact story.
There's about three. Tony Two-Tone says, I'm going to the Derby, Bert. I live in Louisville. Good for you, buddy. Okay, so here's my pick, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the horses running is called Commandment. And when I heard about Commandment about 4 days ago, he was along with about three other horses to be in the favorite top three. And I'm asking my friend, which one do you think it's going to be? He said, it could be any one of these three, and Commandment was one of them. We finished that conversation, and I went back to my computer.
Well, your friend is just as bad at guessing as you are.
To do some research for the show, not for...
It was a long shot that won, right? Like a fucking 70-1 or some shit.
I wasn't looking for anything to do with the Derby. And I turn on Fox News. No, not Fox News. I'm sorry. Alex Jones. And he's in a conversation with someone about the Bible and about literally talking about commandments. And the guy's exact words were, there's 10 commandments in the Bible, but the Torah has 156 commandments. I'm going, how many more times are they going to say commandment before I get the clue? So I called my friend back and I said, find out for me what would happen if you bet $10 on commandment and would it pay 156? Well, he got back to me. He says, no. He goes, $10 won't pay 156. It'll pay, I think he said 8-1 or 6-1.
So he thought that the Bible had 10 commandments and the Torah has 156 commandments. So he thought God was telling him, if you bet $10, you win 156.
6-1, I think is what he said, which would be about $60. And I said, well, could it be, could it change? Could it be $162? I don't know. But anyway, that's what told me. It was, in other words, it was a divine whisper in the ear. So if I were going to bet on the Derby this weekend, which I will not because I don't have any money, I put my money on commandment just because of that. There's too many coincidences, and you guys know I don't believe in coincidences. All right, so that's my prediction for the Derby. That's kind of how I do this stuff, folks. I let my gut guide me into why would I do this and why would I do that. So let's move. Speaking of Alex Jones.
So again, he's talking about trading, he's talking about betting, he's talking about, you know, potential sources of income. And how does he do it, folks? He lets his gut lead him. He's going to start day trading on his guts. They say, the saying is, and most people will tell you this, that time in the market beats timing the market. There are people that'll find, you know, rarely find a stock that is super underrated, super low. They put their money in. An hour later, it fucking quadruples and they pull everything out, blah, blah, blah. You hear stories about that. Very, 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 very rare. And they've made so many bets in the other direction that they're probably just breaking even. The most logical thing you can do with the stock market is just find some blue chips, throw your money in there, diversify, let it grow.
Alex Jones, they shut down InfoWars yesterday. The courts shut him down, put him out of business. He has been planning on, he knew this.
Oh, the people that were keeping up with the cars I've been working on. I put a new EGR valve on my dad's van. My dad had a van that I streamed out of for a while. If you've been around that long, it was a 93 Jayco conversion van, 93 E150, a Ford with a 351 in it. And Jayco did the conversion on it like a camper van. And I was really, I I needed to sell it a long time ago. I'm not using it. I don't want it to sit there and rot. I had been trying to drive it. I had been in my office a couple times, and now it's parked at a friend's property, whatever. But I was kind of like struggling with selling it too. Like I didn't want to just sell it and someone, you know, part it out or destroy it or whatever. My dad really liked that van. But luckily, Mariah's grandpa came by and he was asking about it, and I told him about it or whatever. And I gave him like a family only price, figuring that he likes to wheel and deal and trade. And I figured, you know, maybe he's going to get it and sell it to somebody else, but it's time to let it go. Anyways, I gave him a family only price so he could make some money off of it if he was going to sell it. But he decided he's going to keep it. So that's good. I don't feel as bad about selling it now if he's going to keep it and use it and take it around to places that my dad, like he goes to like music and stuff like that. I watch bands play like bluegrass and country and stuff. That's something my dad did in the van. So hopefully it keeps going.
This was coming, and the way that he knew this was coming was he's fighting in the courts, okay, to keep his company. But
oh, while we're on Alex Jones, I got that clip. You guys want to see it? Alex, the Onion declares victory over Alex Jones in Alex Jones's style.
Hi, everybody. It's Tim Heidecker here. A lot of turmoil the past couple of days. On our road to total victory, we have just won a major battle, folks. Alex and his gang of liars and scoundrels have been cast out into the street. They have lost Infowars, Infowars.com, and their various platforms. They have been cast out, ladies and gentlemen. I am confirming now I am wearing his skin. I've been wearing his skin now for about 2 weeks. It is tough skin. It is Texas skin. Is leathery, and Old Spice is the main fragrance, as well as various alcoholic beverages. And this is just human blood. It's thick.
There you go.
Follow us. Infowars is a movement, and you're on it now. You're on our ship. Come on board. Hi, everybody. It's Tim Heidecker.
That's a good Alex Jones impression, right? So yes, the Onion has declared victory over Alex Jones.
these ridiculous people that sued him, these Sandy Hook families, the CIA and the FBI got together and got a crooked judge.
Why are the Sandy Hook families ridiculous? Could anybody imagine their child being killed in a very tragic way, and then someone go to the internet to millions of people saying that you're an actor, your kid isn't dead, that you should be punished, that you should be tried for treason, you should be strung up, and then people showing up at your house and making threats, and like who think that's a good way to live in a society? That's what courts should do, right? They should give us a more ideal society. No one wants their car stolen, right? So we should prosecute that, right? So it makes people think twice before stealing a car, right? No one wants to be raped, right? We should prosecute that. No one wants this shit. We should go after that and maybe not put people in jail, obviously,
to
penalize them financially when they fuck up like this.
Go along with letting these families sue him for emotional disturbances when he says he didn't think it was real. And I thought in America we had freedom of speech and you could say stuff like that. I mean,
okay. Freedom of speech or freedom of actions? Because he drove people, he told people to take action, and they did.
Is that what they're saying about Jimmy Kimmel right now? But Jimmy Kimmel can say what he wants. It's the First Amendment.
Yep, he's making jokes, like pretty funny jokes.
Amendment doesn't apply to businesses. It only applies to the government.
And they're clearly laid out as a joke. No one thinks, even Alex Jones tried to say in his own defense that he didn't believe any of the stuff he said on the show, that he's playing a character named Alex Jones. He's really Alex Jones, but he plays a character on the show named Alex Jones that doesn't believe any of this and blah, blah, blah. And everybody knows that it's not real. That was his defense, by the way.
You have a First Amendment right to the government.
Everything Jimmy Kimmel does is set up as a joke. He doesn't come out and try to pretend and say, hey, this isn't a joke. I'm being serious. I'm dead serious. This is what's going on. You need to go do this, and you should take action here, and you should go after these people. And that'd be weird.
But a business can tell you, I know, because I'm 86 out of a bar right here in Las Vegas for one reason. I said the F word out loud. And they throw you out of that bar if you say
oh, my goodness.
And
fuck.
They have the right to do that because they're a private business.
Well, you don't look much like a Christian out here screaming the F word at a bar, do you?
So you can't scream, that's my First Amendment right. Your First Amendment right is when you're dealing with the government, not when you're dealing with private business. So that's the argument that Disney is using with the private business side of it. The truth is,
they're trying to get Jimmy Kimmel because he did a he basically said, since Trump is not allowing a comedian at this correspondence dinner, I'm going to pretend like I'm the comedian. So he did it the day before the correspondence dinner. And he made a joke about like, he said, Melania, you have the glow of an expectant widow instead of expecting a baby. Like Trump's going to die of natural causes. And they're like, oh, he's making fun of the place being shut up and people trying to kill Trump. First of all, it was the day before. Second of all, that's not the joke. The joke is Trump is old and dying.
Is one of the largest entertainment agencies in Hollywood told Disney, don't you dare let ABC, which is owned by Disney, shut down Jimmy Kimmel. If you do, we're going to withhold all of our talent, and you're not going to have any actual Disney of it. The truth is, one of the largest entertainment agencies in Hollywood told Disney, don't you dare let ABC, which is owned by Disney, shut down Jimmy Kimmel. If you do, we're going to withhold all of our talent, and you're not going to have any actors to be in your movies.
Oh.
You're going to do any movies, you're going to do any TV shows, you're not going to do anything, because you're not going to have any talent, because we're not going to let our talent work for you. That's extortion. It's one of the reasons I left Hollywood. So anyway, Alex Jones, even though he has freedom of speech, apparently, they have effectively shut him down through the back door. They said The Onion was going to be awarded through an auction, but they never held the auction. They held a fake auction, and Alex Jones took them to court over that, and it's in the appeals process. And so twice now, the Onion has tried to say they're taking it back, or they're not taking it back, they're taking it over. And Alex's lawyers have stopped them twice in their tracks. But because of the bankruptcy and the receivership, which is corrupt, the receiver says, I'm putting him out of business simply because I'm not going to pay his rent. And he's been renting this big giant warehouse where his studios are in Texas for the last 17 years. He doesn't own it. He rents the space. So the receivership says, well, if the courts won't let us give it to the person who supposedly won it in the auction, then we're just going to stop paying the rent. We're going to stop paying the utilities. And Alex Jones is not allowed to pay them because he's in bankruptcy and they're controlling his money. So he was told by the landlord, or not by the landlords, by the marshals and the people who evict you, that at midnight on the end of April, we're coming in and taking it over. And that's exactly what they did. They came in and they took it over and they shut him down. So this is footage from last night's final show. And Alex explaining what they're going to do next, because he had a contingency plan.
Thank God.
Even though he's in bankruptcy, he allowed people to use his name and start a new company, and that new company owns the AlexJonesLive.com website, which is now where we have to go to see Alex Jones.
Oh.
As you know, in the last few weeks, I have lost a lot of faith in Alex, but
cool any room in 90 seconds.
Because Alex doesn't support Trump anymore. You're right.
just like I'm not going to give up on Donald Trump, I'm not going to give up on Alex either. People do make mistakes, and they do make bad decisions, and I'm not going to let 25 years of following
Or it was extorted out of Hollywood. That's correct.
He will come around. He will have to, because Trump's going to do just what I said he was going to do, and he's going to come out of this shining like a silver dollar. And everybody's going to say, well, I gave up on Alex. I gave up on Trump. It looks like he did it. And I'm going to be one of those ones that says, yeah, he did it, and I told you he was going to do it, and I never doubted it. But let's go over and check out how they ended the show last night. If you can see this on the screen, and I've tried to make an improvement on the screen. I don't know if you can tell.
Look how much better the screen looks, guys. He made an improvement on the screen. Can you tell? See how much more you can see of it?
There's nothing I can do about that till I get another camera. But it says AlexJonesLive.com. That's the new network. You can no longer find him at Infowars.com. If
Much better it looks.
It says something like this site does not exist or something. Let me double check exactly what it says. It says off air. It just says off air in the middle of the screen. So this is the new one. You should be able to see that now. I should have enlarged that for you. I'm sorry.
See how much better it is, chat?
And this is the
You've got to remember, we're watching through a literal Idaho Spud, okay? Did you know potatoes could have that resolution?
part of the last episode.
The stuff I've seen in this fight has educated me. I mean, you think I know so much? I don't know much. These show trials I went through showed me so much. Like, I knew there were show trials. No, like Truman Show. There's the second trial.
You can't even see Alex Jones's face. It's just a big white blur.
There was the same script. There's a test. When I'm up to test fire, I like punch the stuff I said earlier. I was like, oh, that's the same script. It's literally a script. When you realize they're so corrupt, they have. And when that hits you, it's like horror. That is. How do I get the public to wake up? That's why I blame the public.
Because I'm all my ears, Alex Jones.
I know what's going to happen.
That first guy right there is Alex Jones' son.
Is that this has been beyond.
This guy right here is Alex Jones' son, and these guys are part of his crew. This is how come Alex Jones can have the type of show he has, as opposed to what I've got going on here, because I'm all by myself. Look at this.
Oh, this is what sets Alex Jones apart from Bork.
You're going to see the people that are part of putting the show on.
On Epic, and this has been 100% organic and real. Whenever they sued us, they would always ask everybody, who gives the orders? Who's the foundation people? Because they were all getting the orders. Guess what? My orders come from God, from my genetics, from who I am, for humanity. And that's what they can't stand, is your orders come from God. And remember, the devil's biggest trick is not that he doesn't exist, it's Satan's trick. It's that good doesn't exist. You know why? And so they didn't have their big victory. They think it's all funny. They think it's all cool. No, this is the beginning of the end. We don't ride on Trump. He rode in our train. He was useful as far as he went. But
we don't ride on Trump. He rode in on our train.
It's unstoppable if we get in line with God. So go to Christ, pray to Christ, ask the Gentiles to take over.
So it's a low quality spot. It's non-Idaho. Okay.
Hours of all the San Diego documentation from the CIA and the feds, and then take court just block all together fight. I want those. I'm already in pain with all the people because we And we are counter to this fight. And that's Frank Sinatra. The real war begins now. I want to make a massive announcement right now.
All right, what I'm doing is cutting back this.
Okay. You are the InfoWarrior List forever. We're going to play Frank Sinatra Blue Eyes and come back with the great Tom Renz and JR to close this out. God bless you all. That's it. The next phase starts. The real war begins now. I want to make a massive announcement right now. I mean, this
Cutting back gold will Judge Report announced today that it is now no longer InfoWars. The left is celebrating, but they really the only thing they managed to do is getting kicked out of his studio.
Oh, okay, that's it. That's all they managed
Right back
to
up
do.
a different studio. Does that sound familiar to you guys? Does that sound on a much smaller scale? Does that sound familiar to anybody? Isn't that kind of what I've been going through?
No.
On a much smaller scale.
Oh, the left got Bort kicked out of his studio by convincing him not to pay his rent for 6 months. You guys remember that? That was the left that didn't pay Bort's rent, and apparently sunk $500,000 into a studio without paying rent on it.
Obviously. I'm going to click on this one. I have not watched it. I don't know what's going to happen here. But I'm going to click on it and see if we can see his new set. Maybe this article here will help us see his new set. If this is not an old episode.
President Trump's next major executive order could create more millionaires than any event in modern history.
This is an ad.
Hey, now that I got your attention, I want to show you something. This advantage holster is going to change how you carry your gun.
Another ad.
So yesterday the Fed met, right? And
Right here.
this Iran situation is like the
You can't see anything. I improved the TV, guys, so you can see. You can't see anything on. Look, can you guys even tell me who's on the screen?
thing that they can't figure out.
Cut to just. There we go.
That's definitely Alex Jones or Indiana Jones. I see Jones.
Yeah, he's saying that. I agree. They know, his bosses know what they're doing to support the program.
I still don't know who this guy is. I don't have a clue.
You know, Chicago wants government first, right?
Yeah. See, and they're going to try to pin this all down on Trump and the strait and the oil shortages and the supply chain disruptions, and they're using this because there's nationalization.
It's not one I intended to cover, but I mean, we're all interested in that. I wanted you just to see his new studio. That's where you find him. Infowars.com is no longer. You'll see if he rents back studio. So he had his old studio up and running that they just took away from him, and he went and built a new one. And it's nice when you've got friends that have enough money to keep you in business. But see, Alex Jones has millions of viewers. He gets 15 to 20 million views a day, and so his company was making money.
Yours isn't.
And now the new owners can do whatever they want to because they're not in bankruptcy. The funding. So I'm struggling very, very much to keep this. I don't have that option. I don't have that option. I'll have in bankruptcy. And I don't have that option. I don't have that option. I'll have anybody that has that kind of funding. So I'm struggling very, very much to keep this on the air. And I've got so many bills to pay that are all related to the show. This tiny little apartment is nothing but a studio with a bed and a small kitchen. That's all it is. That's all I do here. So as you
So his house isn't even counted as his house. That makes sense.
see, Alex is still asking his audience to maintain
Oh, Jennifer, if you stay around for a second, we'll try to look up Trooper Sarah. I know you asked
his
about
show
it.
by buying products from his store. It's the only way he survives. They do have a donate button.
Just remember that.
So think about that while you're watching tonight's show and see if you can find it in your heart to help this smaller version of a similar situation. Because it might be smaller in scale, but not in impact. It's impacting my life to the point where
It might be smaller in scale, but not in impact. So you're claiming that you have the same impact as Alex fucking Jones. Wait till the racism starts. It's going to get good.
I will be my benefits that are kicking in through the VA of next month are going to allow me to go and get some testing done.
Oh, did you guys see? Hold on. So somebody asked me about his VA benefits. So from what I've heard, I have no way to verify this. From what I heard, he only served like 11 months. Okay, less than a year. But if he served before 1980, any times in service, he'll get any time in service, he'll get medical benefits through the VA. After 1980, there's restrictions on what they'll do and what they won't do, how long you have to serve, and unless you got injured in the service, like if you blew your knee out in the service, they'll always fix that for the rest of your life, even if you're only in for a week. But if it's just general health care, seems like he served for like 11 months, not quite a year. I wanted to see what's the video I'm looking for. There's a video where he starts talking about his racism. And how he couldn't believe a black guy helped him at the Social Security office.
If you can, no one has responded. You've got bills to pay.
You're welcome, Robert. Shadow is over there on his perch. I'm going to ask you guys one more time if you can. No one has responded so far. If you can make a donation tonight, we can sure use it. I've got bills to pay, and it would be very helpful if you just
personally messaging people and asking them to donate.
BirdieBirdLynch.com is all you need for that. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe if you were. So I got it set up in payments, and I don't want to spend a weekend without internet.
Same bill, 2 different timelines, and this isn't the first time the details have shifted. At some point, you don't need commentary. The pattern speaks for itself. This is why people save clips. It's not about nitpicking. It's about consistency. When something is explained one way, then re-explained a few days later in a completely different way, it raises questions. This is what I said about his internet bill. Like, his internet's always getting cut off or is cut off, or he needs donations to keep his internet on. Does he pay it daily?
Or without my phone. I've been paying my phone bill every 2 weeks. Somebody criticized me last night on another program. He always needs to pay his phone. Yeah, because I owe a lot to the phone company. And so I got it set up in payments. And it's every 2 weeks. And if you miss one, then they charge you a whole lot more of what they know you already ain't got none of, which is money. And so if I can stay ahead of it, I don't have to pay the late fee and the reconnect fee every time I don't pay it on time. For those of you that...
Is there a phone company that'll let you take billing periods every 14 days?
Can't understand how things like that work. And
Several days later,
my phone service and my internet service, I'm paying it weekly in order to keep it on. Constantly be.
I mean, he could just be doing that himself. Like, okay, my bill's $100 a month. I'll pay $25 a week. Blah blah blah. But he says disconnect and reconnect fees every 2 weeks or every week, every 7 days, every 14 days.
Reaching out to you guys for help, and I don't.
Here it is. None of this had anything to do with white race. Why bring race into it?
Rude and obnoxious. I told you guys, I've got problems next door. Those folks over there are black. I got problems with them, and they are a problem. They are quite rude and obnoxious. That doesn't make me hate all black people. I don't even hate them. I pity them. They're fools. I pity the fools. When I went to Social Security office on Thursday, the guy that sat down and fixed all our problems was a big old black fella, and man, was he awesome.
It doesn't have nothing to do with race, but he points out the race every time he can. Right? He'll point out and be like, these people just happen to be bad and they're black, but I know a good one at the Social Security office.
When he got done, there's a little gap underneath the glass, like about that tall, because there's a glass between us. And I said, man, don't get scared. I'm reaching under here to shake your hand. And I shook his hand. I said, man, you are awesome, because he could have sent us back and said, come back in 8 weeks or 5 weeks and, to fill the paperwork out again. He said, no, this ain't right. You guys have done everything the way you were supposed to do it. We messed it up. I'm going to fix it. And he sat there with us for an hour and a half. And I left out there and I told my friend.
It's disgusting. Like, he never, ever, ever, like, if he has some type of interaction, like, he's never brought up that I'm a white guy. Like, oh, yeah, he's, typical white guy. You know what I'm saying?
That was with me. I said, that dude right there.
The way he talks about black people is just, I don't know, disgusting.
Reinvigorated my feelings that if you stay with it, you don't give up, things will get done the right way. But you sometimes have to. We just didn't take no for an answer. The first guy in the first counter was nice, but he was saying no. Go get us somebody else. Is there somebody else we can talk to? He goes, let me go try and see if a supervisor will look at this. And he come back and he said, if you'll go sit back down, they're going to call your number again. And we waited another 30 minutes or so. And by gosh, so that dude was a black guy.
Yes, it's like saying there's a lot of bad ones, but there are a few good ones.
The first guy was an Asian guy. Next guy was a black guy. The division that the Southern Poverty Law Center claims exists does not exist. If that were the case, this guy would have took one look at me, and took one look at my last name on my ID when I handed it to him, and he would have handed it back to me and said, go find somebody else. I told you guys.
Again, he thinks that people feel a certain way about him because his last name's Lynch. I've never heard this being, like, I know a ton of people, their last name's Lynch. I've never heard about this being an issue with anybody. Oh, your last name's Lynch? He says the guy at the Social Security office, because he's black, he could have looked at my last name, being Lynch, and said, I'm not helping you. Take it to somebody else. Have you ever heard of that? Is that a thing? People just see the word Lynch and freak out if it's someone's last name?
Done, because I've had a couple of people tell me that they're surprised I haven't had a stroke or a heart attack with all the stress I'm under. And quite honestly, I'm tired. I am tired, but I refuse to quit. And I don't want to be tired. I want to, once these benefits kick in, I'll be able to go see doctors.
You guys ready for the pity party? He can't say he does have cancer, but he might.
And get some supplements and get some things that are going to maybe get me back to feeling myself again. I'm 5 years free of cancer.
Yeah, I know a couple black
no money,
people.
so-
Last name are Lynch. That's true. I didn't think about that.
Once these benefits kick in, I'll be able to go see doctors and get some supplements and get some things that are going to maybe get me back to feeling myself again. I'm 5 years free of cancer as far as I know, but I've had no money, so I couldn't go get tested to see if it's back or if there's a problem. That'll change next month. Next month, I'll go get some checkups. I'll go find out. I'll go run the MRIs and all those things that have to be done to make sure that, there's not some sneaky son of a bitch cancer somewhere else on my body or in my body. I'm praying that that's not the case. And my exhaustion, I don't think has anything to do with the cancer. It has to do with just being completely wore out from this fight. But being tired and wore out does not mean it's over. I'm not quitting. All right. So
who are you fighting? Like, I don't know who you're fighting. Alpha Brain. He's got to get some Alpha Brain through the VA.
Questions from the press. We'll cut right straight over to it. It's from Fox News.
It's not a general raising pressure. Why would you go in the country and say that gives you a letter to Congress today, telling them no need for an extension. The ceasefire is already terminated, and will not understand. We have 3.
The only reason Trump's saying the war's over is because through the War Powers Act, he would have to go to Congress now or send a representative Congress to explain to him what we're doing, why we need to be there, how much money we need to spend, all that shit.
Carriers in the Indian Ocean. It says Tripoli.
Hashtag Team
General
Cancer.
Jack Keane says it's time to finish the job.
I think option 1 is return and finish what we started. We spent 3 weeks here trying to work out this.
As Trump
Chicken
is
legs.
Crazy in that kid. But they're not. Thank you, Governor Lombardo. Signaling that a deal is possible. And this just in. Trump's reputation as a been wiped out. He isn't actually. They want a deal. Conference says if inflation is so some smoke. The old sedan. Scott Bessent. Oil revenue to
All
the
this amazing commentary.
Telling you all about the Chinese yuan and how this whole
sales. The Chinese yuan. So Beijing, not happy.
You guys remember me telling you all about the Chinese yuan and how this whole thing stems around the fact that Trump wants the Iranians back to using the U.S. petrodollar? That's what this whole thing's about, you guys. Does that sound like we're winning? It does to me. If you listen to the left, it's a quagmire, it's a disaster. No, it's not.
We're looking for about an hour 13, and then we'll probably quit it. I'll jump around some, though.
It's going brilliantly. We have lost so few people compared to the thousands that we've lost in the last 47 years due to these idiots in Iran. My neighbor below me is an Iranian. He is not happy with a lot of the things that our government does, but he loves the fact that America is helping the Iranian people get their freedom back. He's a good guy downstairs. We stood outside last night talking, and it was a pleasure because those people aren't there. We actually have our courtyard back now.
Those black people?
It's not full of a bunch of ghetto rats. And that's just what they were. Ghetto.
Oh, it's not full of a bunch of ghetto rats. God, he wanted to say the N-word so bad.
There you go, buddy. Let me move this out of the way.
Ghetto rats. That's who those children were.
There you go. Put it right there, okay? All I got is this little tiny apartment and a cat, and that's all I really need.
You think he would say ghetto rats if he lived like in a trailer park and there was a bunch of like fucking like southern, redneck children running around causing trouble? You think he'd use the word ghetto rats?
I enjoyed talking to you folks. I enjoy bringing you the news. I'm like Alex says, a humble house, humble car. I'm still a patriot. I didn't sell out to AI and go become a millionaire, getting my audience to buy whatever I told them to purchase. I stayed true. Now, kitty cat. Now he's opening the drawer himself. No, you just stop. You've had enough. We're going to join. James Comey is under and we are helping.
Let's skip around some.
Investigation that day about, and I so it's sure, but he's facing. He was party to it.
As you can see, this new acting attorney general has really lowered the boom. Now, is it possible he's just trying to make sure that he doesn't stay the interim attorney general, but becomes the permanent attorney general, so he's being extremely aggressive, and then he'll start backing off once he actually gets the job? Is that a possibility? It is. It's Washington. That's the way things are in Washington, unfortunately. People answered my question, and I appreciate that. Allison says I can see the screen better, and still getting some white background. Let me explain that to you. It's the camera. I moved the TV much closer to makes it tougher for me to get in and out of this space because it's about 5 feet, or
it's so much better. We can see everything.
2.5 feet closer than it was. I think I can actually move it up even a little bit more. I mean, if I've got to squeeze out.
I've never seen somebody come on and announce improvements and make their shit worse.
Of this little cockpit that I'm in to do the show.
Like verifiably worse. Not like, oh, I think I made it better. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's worse. I'm trying here. But he's like, it's better. There you go. Look how clear this screen is. And you can't see anything on it.
It's not such a big thing. I'd rather put up with the inconvenience of not being able to get in and out easily if it makes it better for you guys. The fact is, I need my good camera.
The people that were complaining about it, he's like, that's because you're watching it on a tiny screen.
And to get my good camera is going to cost me about $100. That's all. My good camera is going to cost me about $100, maybe $125 to get it back. It's a $800 camera. So obviously I don't want to lose it. And it's one of the things that this weekend has to be dealt with. And so we can improve this. This camera is very cheap that I'm using. And when the lighting changes at all, this cheap little camera tries to adjust the iris to pick it up. And that's why you see my skin tone changing. You see the room getting darker and lighter. That wouldn't happen if I had my 35 millimeter digital.
Any photography buffs? His 35 millimeter digital
4K, my skin tone changing. You see the room getting darker and lighter. That wouldn't happen if I had my 35 millimeter digital 4K camera up there. So
35 millimeter digital 4K camera. Got it.
You know, as soon as I can raise those funds, that's the next thing I'm going to do is go get that. That's a hint to you guys, by the way. If you make a donation tonight of $25, $20, $10, if a few...
Listen, guys, I need a garage to work on stuff to make content. That's a hint to you guys. Who wants to donate the Concrete Slab Foundation? That's a hint to you guys.
Of you, if 10 people who are watching the show helped out tonight, if 5 people helped out tonight, it's a good possibility that tomorrow night's show will look a whole heck of a lot better. Because this weekend I have to go and at least pay the interest on these loans, and on some of them I can get them out because each item that I borrowed on individually is not that much to get out. It's actually not that much to get all of it out, to be quite honest with you. But it's more than I've got, and I have to pay the rent first so that we still have a place to live and a place to do the show from. So think about how you can help me improve the show by simply making a donation tonight, Zelle or PayPal, bert@bertlynch.com. And I know some of you have helped out already in the last couple of weeks. Many of you have said you want to but can't.
You got one $20 donation.
It's a new month that you can now. I'm praying that you can, because the first thing I'll do is go get the other camera.
We'll beat that tonight.
And you will see a massive improvement. And if I get the camera and the editing gear too, we go back to the way it used to be. That's going to happen, regardless of whether it happens this weekend or if it takes me another 2 months. I'm not giving up. I'm just not going to give up. Okay, so someone else here says just a lot of white on the screen. That's that.
He calls his switcher, right, the A10 Mini Pro, his editing gear. It's a live HDMI switcher, right? You plug a bunch of HDMI sources into it and you switch them. That's it. It's not editing gear. Editing gear.
Two ex-NASA engineers just created a portable AC that is making old expensive models obsolete. Power company.
It just will not focus.
I honestly thought about the garage. I honestly thought about getting like a carport style. So just like no sides on it, just a roof on, and go ahead and pour the slab what I want and have electricity ran like right to the center to where it's weather protected. And then expanding from there, right? I can put, you know, the sides on eventually and blah, blah, blah. But I could make it, I could do it in stages, I guess. Still have to have the foundation, and it has to be thick enough for a lift. I'm getting a lift. I'm going to get a lift before I die. I'm going to have a fucking lift at my house to lift a car.
Of any white background. As you can see, you know, you can see the black background just fine, but those letters up there on my logo are actually yellow, like gold, and this is actually popping out as green or yellow, and it's actually red. It's a camera. It's a piece of crap camera. I'm lucky to have it, but it's a piece of crap. And the only reason I have it is it was in one of the boxes when I was moving in here. It was in one of those boxes, and so therefore it's what I have. A little better, but still very bright.
Less gear, much less gear. You're right.
Screen is what I meant. Much easier to see. That's Jam Witch 45. Yes, by moving it in closer, it made it easier for you guys to see.
He let the ultimate troll Snazzy Granny back in. He doesn't even know Snazzy Granny's on our team.
And I moved myself over in the shot, rearranged it, moved the microphone, got myself out of the way of it for you. I'm trying, folks. I'm trying to put on a good show for you. I'm doing the best I can. I also have another piece of really good news that I'm just not going to talk about yet. I don't want to jinx it. But let's just say that an old friend, and sometimes friends are not human beings, is coming back into my life. And when it does, the show's going to change. And I'm going to leave.
Prostate vibrator. Maybe?
At that. I bet you figured out because I don't want to announce it until that.
An old friend, and friends are not always human, is coming back into his life. Well, there you go.
It happens. Again, I don't want to jinx things. Okay. Stay tuned, in other words. I'm editing on the fly. I think I'm going to go with this story first.
Oh, he said you definitely wanted to come to tonight's show for some reason. I don't know what the fuck that was. But
if you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, I told you about a bar that was...
It's one of those prostate ciders for a fucking cattle or whatever.
Trying to celebrate that Trump almost got shot. I don't guess it was a couple weeks ago. I guess it was last Friday. Wasn't that when last Saturday when it happened? So maybe it was Sunday I told you about this. I told you about a bar who said...
Bohr acts like he goes out and finds these stories himself. Like he was walking on the road and saw a bar that said drinks are free the day Trump dies or something like that. When instead, he saw it on Twitter or Facebook because someone else has already reported on it, right? So he's like, I told you about this. I told you about it a week ago. And now look, it's on Fox News. Yeah, because people are already reporting about it. They probably had more important shit at the time. Now they're swinging back around to it. Like you're the same as me. We just happened to see it because other people found it. You didn't go out and find this source yourself, and then Fox News picked you up.
Said that they were going to celebrate with Free Beer Day when Trump gets killed. Well, I told it to you a week ago.
I'll go to that bar.
It made national news. What's that tell you about my ability to bring you guys what I know is going to be interesting? What's that tell you about? I talk about it on my show a week before the mainstream media gets to it all the time.
Oh, my God.
All the time.
For all the wrong reasons. This actor appearing to express disappointment. Into in New York, now a brewery in Wisconsin drawing attention and outrage for all the wrong reasons.
It wasn't like Bort was walking down the street in Wisconsin and it's like, that brewery's giving, I got to go live right now. I got to tell my audience about it right now. And then Fox News picked it up. Like someone else reported it. Social media got a hold of it. Other agencies have been reporting about it, right? Other news agencies. Finally, Fox News had a slow enough news day to talk about it.
Reasons. This after appearing to express disappointment that the latest attempt on President Trump's life ended in failure. In the aftermath of that attempt, the Minocqua Brewing Company posted this, quote, well, we almost got hashtag Free Beer Day. Either a brother or sister in the resistance needs to work on their marksmanship, or we faked another assassination to get a positive news cycle. We'll never know. Regardless, we stand at the ready to pour free beer the day that happens, end quote. The since deleted post appears to reference the brewery's long-running promotion on free beer on the day Trump dies. But the Secret Service...
Literally, they've been running this promotion since Trump came back into office.
The FBI, they reached out, they looked into it, here's their statement. The U.S. Secret Service follows up on perceived threats against the President of the United States or any one of our protectees. The FBI and Secret Service together followed up on information received and then conducted further investigative steps located in... Should happen. There you go. So the FBI caught wind of it too, and so did the Secret Service. That's good. That's what should happen. And if you watch the show, you knew about that story a full week ago. You're welcome. All right, I told you earlier that we had some earthquakes. I felt one of them this morning. Nothing terrible fell or anything like that, but I did feel it. Somebody said their temperamatic or their beautiful bed kept them from feeling it, but they saw
their temperamatic bed,
the items in their room moving. I kind of did the same thing.
He can't say Tempur-Pedic, so he's like, their beautiful bed.
The blinds on my door going outside were wiggling back and forth. I'm going, what the hell? And I realized, have you ever done that? You know, you kind of feel like you've lost your balance. You're just kind of sitting there going, I feel a little bit out of whack. Well, it turns out there were 17 damn earthquakes today, and now I think we might know why. We might know why, you guys. Check this out. Could this be the truth? Could this be what it is? I don't know how well the image is going to look. Treat it like a radio show. The audio is working just fine. Sorry, that's all I can do.
17 earthquakes near Area 51 in the last 24 hours recorded just 2 miles below the surface of the Earth. And this is right after Trump said this.
Do you have an update on UFO fighters? Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. They want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material. They're going to be releasing a lot of things that we have. And I think some of it's going to be very interesting.
Stephen Greer, longtime UFO expert, had this to say.
Listen close.
The thing that lights up in my mind is that back in the 1990s, I briefed a man who designed the security apparatus at some of the facilities out there, particularly the ones up near Groom Lake and Paluke Mesa. And he explained that on the top of those complexes underground were like bunker busting type bombs, but underneath them were thermonuclear devices, so that if anybody was getting close to those facilities, and by this, it could even be the legal government of the United States, it could collapse those facilities.
17 earthquakes near Area 51 in the last 24 hours recorded just 2 miles below the surface of the Earth. And this is right after.
So Area 51 is right outside Las Vegas. And I've told you guys about that before. And I know people who work out there. And they would not ever divulge to me anything they do. They would be fired immediately if they did. And if that's the case, are they exploding these underground bunkers so that the federal government can't find out what's out there? So that they can't tell us? Is that why we had so many earthquakes today? Very, very disturbing. So if you don't already know this, well, you should if you watch my show, because I told you last week that Louisiana wanted to redistrict some of its congressional.
Here we go. Listen to the way he talks about these black people.
The Democrats raised holy hell, and went to the courts, and the Supreme Court has finally said you cannot make a district. That's the cat playing with one of his toys. And his favorite toy is a bottle cap off a beer. And he pushes it all around the house. It's crazy. You can go spend money on toys and they'll find something, a cardboard box or a beer cap or something. That'll be the thing that fascinates him the most. You don't have to go spend money on. I've got a fancy little, it's not fancy. I've got this little toy that I bought him at the dollar store. He won't even play with it. And it's a little ball that lights up when you roll it. He don't even care about it. But then he'll chase that beer cap all over the place. So anyway, the Supreme Court said you can't build districts because you want a district that's all black people or all Asian people or all whatever. You have to proportion it based on how many people are there, period. Not black people, white people, and red people. This congressman handled this so well when he was asked about it. Wesley Hunt. Here's how he flipped a gotcha question on race and reality. Here we go. Let me get this set up so you can see it.
Black Republican members in the new term. What do you make of that? Nothing. I don't understand how that's relevant. I'm not here because I'm black. There won't be any black Republican members in the new term. What do you make of that? Nothing. I don't understand how that's relevant. I'm not here because I'm black. I am here because I'm a qualified representative for Congressional District 38, and the American people choose who they want to choose. And the one thing I don't want to get into is this game of race bait all day, every day. If there's 4, if there's 10, if there's none, what we are talking about is who is the best person that is best qualified to fill a seat, regardless of the way that they look. And I tell people this all the time until I'm blue in the face. I represent a white majority district that President Trump would have won by over 20 points, and I won by 25 points the last time I ran. I'm being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. I don't care how many black people are here. I want the most qualified people that are here.
Wow. There's hope for the world. Well said, sir. And if
he's one of the good ones.
Get my vote. Trump said the same thing. I don't know if I have that footage or not. I look through so many things, and sometimes they make the cut and they don't. Trump today was at the Villages in Florida, and when he was announcing people, he announced the Florida congressman. Now I can't think of his name. He's black. Oh gosh, I can see his big smiling face, and I can't think of his name now. I'm sorry. But anyway, he said I would have him come up here and let you guys talk to him, but we don't.
These are the states that don't. They claim they're not gerrymandering, like Tennessee. They're trying to wipe out Memphis. They're trying to make Memphis red for this upcoming election. The governor, who just did some stupid shit on our 911 service and Harshbarger, who's running for governor, they're vowing to follow Trump into turning the entire state red, including Memphis, Tennessee. It's insane. All right, here we go.
We need to save the time for the people in Congress that are in close races, because he's not in a close race. He's leading by 20 points, and he's black, and in a state that's a red state. So don't tell me that the racism is in the blue states, not over here in Florida. Tawana says a few places in Missouri had the ground shake as well. Is there a military base anywhere near where the ground was shaking? I'd be interested to find out. I think there is in Missouri.
You think they fired nuclear weapons under the ground at military bases because Trump said that he was going to reveal stuff about aliens. Got it.
Donald's. That's right, Jamwich. His name is Donald's. And the people of Florida love him. They love him to death. So the racism is manufactured. The was at the Southern Poverty Law Center proved that. They're paying people to start trouble, and then they're going in and fixing it, like a nurse making their patient sick and then taking credit for curing them, which happens. It really does. We got a little more Jesse Waters on tap here.
Here we go.
Pull that in. Now, this is the Supreme Court case that I'm talking about. This is what has happened, and this is why it's happened. And I've got a couple different things here to cover. For those of you that haven't been following it, I find this to be fascinating because I told you that don't worry about the midterms, just show up and vote. We're going to wipe them out in the midterms. The media and
These are the images I was looking for. Hold on. There's one. I wish they were bigger, but they're not. Okay. So I'll zoom in on these for you. But these are the images we're looking for. All right. Tennessee, 94. Right? 96, 98, 2000. See all the blue in Tennessee? It was even worse than this before 94, but see the blue in Tennessee? 98, 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008. Remember this, right? Half the middle of the state's blue and the left-hand side of the state's basically blue, okay? (2010) 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2020. Then that's when 2020 was the big, they did the population survey, census. Then 2022. All it is Memphis. 2024. All it is Memphis. Not even Nashville anymore. All it is Memphis. And they're trying to fix that.
People on the left keep saying that Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to lose the midterms. That's just not going to happen. Check this out.
The Supreme
Well, it's not going to happen if they fucking change all the rules of the election and redistrict everything, maybe. But we're set to win.
Court called Democrats racist. Again, the justices ruled that race and government can't mix. You'd think Democrats would be happy. They hate racism, right? Wrong.
I think it's a huge setback. I mean, the 1965 Voting Rights Act was the most important piece of legislation in the United States. People died history.
God, he hates black people.
Devastated by this particular Supreme Court decision, even though we did know this was coming.
The case was about Louisiana's congressional map. They'd redrawn it to create a second black district. The court says can't do that. It's unconstitutional. No drawing maps based on race. But Democrats say ignoring race is racist.
By the time we got the Voting Rights Act, black people theoretically had a right to vote for 100 years when the 15th Amendment was passed. But through literacy tests, through grandfather clauses, through poll taxes, they effectively disenfranchised black voters. This is just the 21st century version. This is Jim Crow in new clothes.
Disenfranchised? Blacks can still vote. The court just said you can't segregate all the blacks into a single district to get more seats in Congress for Democrats. And shutting whites out of the districts, also kind of racist. So this is the end of racial discrimination in politics, right? No, it is the end of America.
It's the end of an era.
Listen what he says.
This is a bill that John Lewis was beaten almost to death to get passed. This was the crowning achievement of the civil rights era, the crowning achievement of Dr. King's life's work. It's part of why he was murdered. It brought America out of this horrific past that we've been stuck in for 200 plus years of enslavement, 100 years of racist Jim Crow terror, lynchings, no rights, no protection. And yet now the Supreme Court says we're going to turn a blind eye to that.
No one's being enslaved or lynched. So why do Democrats write laws as if they are? Well, because it gives them more power. This ruling could change Congress for decades, could flip up to 20 seats red, seats that only exist because lines were drawn by skin color. But this isn't just about maps. The court ruled that race shouldn't be used in the government, period. The government can't use its power to help one racial group over another, because the Constitution is designed to protect individual rights, not group outcomes. The government should...
The reason we do this is because they're already vastly underrepresented, right? Like their vote doesn't mean anything because they put them in blocks to where they nullify their vote.
Treat us as people, not as a white person or a black person, but as a person. The law should be colorblind. The government shouldn't be in the business of fixing inequalities based on race, because then it just creates new divisions and new unfairness and new inequalities.
Just wait, Bort's got it figured out.
Ringing in your ears could cause a total brain collapse in less than 2 years. Tonight,
racial discrimination is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. Democrats are panicking because this ruling strikes at the heart of their agenda. And when you can't sort voters by race, you actually have to start persuading them with policies.
They are doing everything they can, it appears, to artificially give Donald Trump a...
This will come back to bite him in the ass eventually, right? Because what they do is when they make a blue area red, they make every other red area a little bit bluer. They're still pushing those blue voters somewhere, and it'll eventually come back and bite them in the ass, but they don't care. They just don't want to lose midterms and have Trump impeached.
A Republican majority in the Congress and in the Senate, which of course he's at risk of losing because his presidency has been a disaster.
And what you see southern states openly talking about doing now is eliminating black representation.
They want to be able to create the kind of Viktor Orban democracy-proof Duma that Russia has, that Venezuela had, that Hungary has. And you do that by getting rid of anyone who can disagree with you.
Do they think voters are racist? The country elected a black president 20 years ago, and no one tried to shoot him. The sitting president's white and...
That's not true.
Amen. 3 times. We just found out that Democrats have been manufacturing racism. Yep. The SPLC was financing the Klan and raising money from it.
This is the dumbest fucking argument ever. The SPLC tracks hate organizations. Of course, they have paid fucking informants. The same way that the FBI has people on the inside of gangs, right? Informants in gangs. We wouldn't say that the FBI is supporting gangs.
Because the race card's all they have. But the Trump Justice Department just exposed it. Ever since the Golden Escalator, the Trump administration, along with the High Court, have been systematically dismantling the corrupt pillars that keep Democrats in power. The deep state, DEI, unchecked immigration, USAID, welfare fraud.
Scary words.
Fraud, censorship, lawfare. The Democrats are running out.
The biggest welfare fraud was Brett fucking Favre, you dumb fucks.
It moves, and they know it.
And now we're at a point.
Listen, okay. Now listen. See these people standing, these people are all black. They're standing right there, and they're going to make a statement. It starts with, and now we're at a point. I'm going to start it over. Here we go.
Where? Welfare fraud, censorship, lawfare. The Democrats are running out of moves, and they know it.
And now we're at a point where affirmative action is gone, diversity is gone, equity gone, inclusion gone, racial tolerance gone, the Voting Rights Act.
Yep, we almost.
All right, so DI, racial equity, the Voting Rights Act, all that's gone is what he says. And how does Bert respond to this? You ready for it? All black people talking about a black voter issue, clearly representing the black vote, representing black people. And remember, for some reason, he thinks people think he's racist because his last name is Lynch, not because of things he says and does. Now let's listen to his response.
Diversity is gone, equity gone, inclusion gone, racial tolerance gone, the Voting Rights Act.
Yep, we almost got you folks having to behave yourselves, don't we? We're close.
Partially gone.
Now, his claim is going to be, I was talking about Democrats. This has all been about black people, the black vote, black people all on the screen. We almost got you folks having to behave yourself. What you saying, Bort? You think they're being a little uppity? Is that what you got? Is that what you're saying?
Inclusion gone, racial tolerance gone, the Voting Rights Act law.
Yep, we almost got you folks having to behave yourselves, don't we? We're close.
Largely gone, but guess what, extremists? We're still
disgusting. Bort is fucking disgusting.
Affirmative action, DEI, the SPLC, big tech censorship, and now racial gerrymandering. The race card's basically illegal. Doesn't work.
I think I'm one. They should make Puerto Rico, DC is.
You know, it's just so true. It blows my mind that we are sitting here in 2026 still screaming and hollering about racial injustice when I see there's people like who I think have moved out.
Right. We almost got those blacks behaving themselves. So why are we screaming about anything?
I just heard a sound. I'm going to go look. I hope that's the cat making that noise. You, Chad. It is you in it, baby. You getting up in your spot? Yes, you did. I'm going to turn the air off.
He's starting to stand like Trump. He's leaned out over them chicken legs.
Yeah, there's nobody over there.
Thank God the blacks aren't back. Ain't that right, Bort?
Okay, sorry about that. No, that was Shadow jumping up in his spot. So yeah, you want to tell me about injustice? Those people over there living rent free. I guess they got them left. Praise the Lord.
Bro, you were living rent free. You weren't paying your fucking rent at multiple places. Those people don't pay their rent.
I hope that's the truth. I want to get into more of this changing around of the congressional districts. This is Florida now. You see it on the screen. I want you to see when they held the vote in Florida. And the reason I bring you guys a lot of Florida news is that's where I'm from. I mean, I've lived here 28 years, but I really call Florida home. I know I call Nevada home, but I'm from Florida. Watch this Florida congresswoman who doesn't want this vote to happen, a black woman, acting the way they act, the way they've been raised to act in this vote, during this vote.
The way they've been raised to act. Now, again, a black woman, the way they've been raised, we've almost got them having to behave themselves. Close. Watch how they act. Watch how this black woman acts like a black woman.
It's unbelievable.
He's just going to start calling them animals soon.
Representative Persis Mullica has waived close. The question now recurs on final passage.
Just as the Florida House began to vote,
the members will proceed to vote.
Representative Angie Nixon of Jacksonville demonstrated her ire, calling the proposed map illegal, but voting continued nonetheless.
83 yeas, 28 nays, Mr. Speaker.
Show the bill passes. Read the next bill.
None on the desk, Mr. Speaker.
She's protesting.
The existing congressional map reflects a Republican majority of 20 to 8 with a cluster of Democratic districts in mostly South Florida. The governor's map shifts that to 24 Republicans to 4 Democrats, all but eliminating the district of Weston's Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and dramatically reconfiguring the district of Jared Moskowitz. Boundary changes usually happen every 10 years with the census, and was last done in 2022. Supporters say population changes demand the redo. The staffer who drew the map acknowledged partisan performance was part of the formula.
So I can tell you that, as I mentioned before, I used all redistricting criteria except for race. That was the only thing that was neutral. Partisan or electoral performance data was not consideration, but certainly not at the exclusion of all of the other standards.
Democratic lawmakers say they've been...
They're literally saying, like, yeah, we're looking at this to see partisan data is used. Can we pick up more seats?
Cut out.
Members, democracy does not die in darkness. It happens in daylight, in front of all of us.
This map flies in the face of their districts and the Florida voters. Members, we are living in perilous times. Perilous times when government begins to choose who it wants to represent instead of allowing the people to choose who represents them.
The backdrop to all of this, a Supreme Court ruling Wednesday that struck down a district drawing in Louisiana as relying too heavily on...
Now, if Democrats were in power and doing this, do you think Burr would be like, hey, turnabout's fair game? He's already complaining about Virginia, saying they're doing it against their Constitution.
Race. Well, the Florida Constitution prohibits maps that diminish the voting power of a racial minority. That conflict sure to play out in court.
The moderate voter is the voter of today and tomorrow. But we got to convince the people who are just in the middle of why one side or the other is more appealing.
So this is not the governor's decision. It sure is not the president's decision. It's not any political party.
I still don't think they've done enough to win the midterms. I don't think they can do enough to win the midterms. He's alienated his own party.
Decision. Nobody told me to do this. Nobody told you how to vote.
And in the Senate, a few hours later, approval, 21-17.
Much more record the vote.
Every time this is done with the census, right? We get new data, we draw new lines. Things have changed, we draw new lines. Now, Trump's in trouble, losing the midterms, and we're just doing it fucking randomly. We can pick up more seats.
21 yeas, 17 nays, Mr. President.
The bill passes.
The bill passed, and the blacks and the Hispanics are raising hell because they want to be treated special.
Is that what they're asking? They're asking to be treated special? The blacks, the Hispanics? Is that what they're asking for? Are they asking to be overrepresented in some way?
They want to be special. You don't get to be treated special. I am seeing it's almost midnight now. It's Friday night for you guys. I know that that you all have probably got
Well, I imagine folks watching the show right now aren't going out on Friday night after midnight. Here in Las Vegas, it's not even 9 o'clock yet. But before we end the show tonight, and I don't have to end it right away.
Whatever. Let's go check out Trooper Sarah. We haven't made it there yet. Oh, here's Preston before we go to Trooper Sarah. There is kind of an update on this guy that was trying to help that scam lady. They're meeting up tomorrow. But the only update is he talked to the surveyor, and the surveyor told him the survey cost $1,900. And there was a $1,500. The contractor charged that $1,500 fee on top of the $1,900 for consultation. So that's basically the only update so far. But I don't know what this video is about.
This right here is the stuff that I get the angriest about, because my first-time buyer clients are trying to be swindled into buying a house that has major structural damage, and they know it. They also know that there's a mold and water intrusion problem there. Somebody put a box fan in the crawl space, blowing air on active mold growth. Everything's fine, right? How am I not supposed to get upset about this stuff? So here we've got a wall that looks very nice. It's all been stipple sprayed until you look real close. And then you see this nice big crack they tried to camouflage. They ran all the way up to the ceiling. All right, now this one took me a minute because I expected to find the crack here. But as I stepped back and looked, right there it starts. And that crack runs all the way down this wall. I was able to determine here that this crack in this wall that runs up, it's been so covered up by this heavy texture, runs right to there. But if you look, right there we got a crack that runs all the way across the ceiling, which is a marriage crack. That runs to here, over to here, and this runs all the way down. And that crack comes right to this wall and makes up right there. This house has had some issues. So here's a story. I got a message from the realtor yesterday offering to send me a structural engineering report that they had the day before the inspection. Now that's always suspicious to me because it always feels like the realtor's trying to soften me up or kind of get out ahead of problems that they know exist. And I didn't actually accept the engineering report because I don't want anything to influence my inspection. But my clients told me what was in it, and I said, did they cover any of these cracks on the ceilings or the floors or walls or anything? And they said, no. We're going to dig in. This is going to get worse. So the engineer told you guys this was no big deal. I want you guys to see what I'm looking at here. Do you see the bow in this wall? I put this 4x4 post here because I haven't run out to the car to grab my level or anything yet. But look at how much of a gap there is. This is how much of a slope. This post is flush against the wall here.
Damn.
That's over 4 inches off. You've got significant inward bowing, and you've got these horizontal cracks that are running all the way down this foundation. Gee, I get over here into this crawl space, and they've got a box fan blowing in here. I wonder why that is. Oh, well, because we've got moisture intrusion or water intrusion full on coming in here. They've got a vapor barrier pulled away from the wall so that the water back there can leak under it and not pool up on top of it. That was crafty. You can see all the water intrusion coming into this house. All right, you can see a very inadequate attempt to oh my God, look at that.
I don't know what that is.
Look how much that carrier beam is bowing and sagging in the center. All right, but if that isn't bad enough, let's go ahead and just take a look right up here and see what we got. Some very significant mold growth. Look at all that mold back there. It's been a long time since I had an inspection that actually made me this angry. The attic now, and we are seeing very significant mold up here.
It's all rotten shit.
And as we come across,
pull that wood apart with your hands.
So this is all fire damage in the attic. So you don't always get that. You don't always get mold and fire damage. My client is a disabled firefighter, okay, first-time buyers looking to get into a house, and the state of real estate today kind of bugs me, and I'm annoyed by it. Everybody knows that. I've become increasingly negative. But I got here today, and the listing agent sign is literally like falling over in the mud here. They have a super lockbox in the house. We couldn't get in today. And it was like asking them to move mountains to come over and let me in a house, to come unlock the door because their electronic lock was not cooperating. The listing agent wouldn't come. She just said, well, call Supra and have them figure it out.
If they allow for block foundations are cheaper, logistically easier. You just get pallets delivered. You don't have to have a truck on site and pour it. And time constraints and shit like that.
A listing agent didn't want to come over and unlock a door for me to finish this inspection. So I had to call the buyer's agent. And the buyer's agent was like, well, I'm 15 minutes away. I have to drive all the way over there. And I'm like, yeah, great. I'm trying to do an inspection so you guys can make a commission. Like, seriously, do you guys just want to phone it in and collect your commission checks? Seriously? Asking to be let into a house is not a monumental request. She got here. Now, what I would expect of a buyer's agent is that they would show up and go, hey, guys, good to see you. Shake your hand. Sorry you're having this problem. It's freezing today. Let me open the door for you. Nope. She walked straight from her car to the front door, never greeted anybody, let us in the front door, and then split. And I'm not going to lie, I was really disappointed to see that that's what these guys have for a buyer's agent, because your buyer's agent is the one that's supposed to be looking out for your interests. Now, on top of it, I don't believe that anybody can look at this house and not think there's major issues here. It blows me away they were able to get an engineering report to say this is no big deal. His report actually said that there's no evidence of chronic water intrusion. I'm going to go over this engineering report with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm calling this engineer, and I'm going to record the call. That's the thing, is we were just talking about, so his child has some immune deficiencies and is really sensitive and allergic to mold and a lot of other things, as he said. But right now in the basement, there is severe mold through the basement, and they've got box fans blowing on it. And he said that this mold wasn't there the last time they were here. And I'm like, yeah, when you're blowing air and actively circulating mold throughout a house, you've now got yourself a mold remediation project here. This is not cheap. This is
spreading the spores, basically.
You just come in and fix in a day. You're calling specialists, and they're going to charge a lot of money to remediate this properly. This right here is the stuff that I get the...
All right, let's go check out if we can find Trooper Sarah. I don't even know if she still exists, but Jennifer Winkler brought her up the other day, and she's like, we haven't checked on her in forever. And I'm like, yeah, we haven't. Oh, she's changed her name. The real Sarah Solari. So she's changed her name some. Let's see what she's doing. Let me go ahead and mute this because I'm sure she's going to have copyright music. So she's dancing a little bit. Rock climbing. Maybe she's gotten some help. Maybe. I don't know. That seems like something you wouldn't do, you know, if you're crazy and strung out and shit, you know. It's all copyright music. I can't play the audio, but she's not saying anything either, so... God, I thought she was going to flash us. This is better than her manic videos, huh? Looks like she's out having fun, maybe. That's a guy with her. Who's that guy, I wonder? Okay. They seem to be romantic.
Science. I'm doing wonders. This is working. We're both getting something out of it. But they're actual people. They're not robots.
God damn it. She tricked me with the music again. Okay, romanticals.
Song for Wayne in the car. He jumped as soon as it came on.
So his name's Wayne, obviously.
Safe mommy. Asexual mommy. Safe mommy.
Wait, she's still saying fake mommy and something about sexual mommy. I wish she'd do something with that music.
A little ugly girl at a store. I do feel a little bit hurt that I was name called a little ugly girl at a store that my bio dad is one of the biggest stock shareholders with it. I do kind of feel hurt. That kind of sucks. Back in 2023, before I found out Elon Musk is my bio dad, a lot of us found out some way, somehow. It hurt.
Okay, maybe she's not better.
It hurt because I grew up thinking the entire time my dad was who my dad said he was, fallen adoptive father, Serena Solari. That's who I thought my dad was the entire time I was growing up. I had no reason to believe anything else. So when Elon Musk came along and said, hey, do you want to have a child with me? And I'm like, you kind of look like me. I need to fact check this. Oh, wait, you're my bio dad. No, that's a crime in America. That's a federal crime. Obviously, like, turned off by the idea that he would even propose.
This is from March the 9th.
That option to me, knowing that he was my bio dad, but also like I was pretty shaken up. The whole entire time growing up, I'm Persian, I'm a Persian princess. Like, I could do anything from royalty, thinking I'm this like unique, special person who I saw in my dad's eyes, and then finding out, oh, I'm just another one of Elon Musk's 20,000 illegitimate kids. Okay, like I'm nothing special at that point. Absolutely nothing special. I'm just a fucking name on a fucking 20,000 list roster of children he got a fondle with at a very young age. That hurt. That hurt. I grew up thinking I was pretty, I was wanted. My adoptive dad was not misogynistic at all. It's very traditional, don't get me wrong. He expressed what he believed a woman's place was in the house. My mom was a housewife, like, took care of the kids, she cooked, she cleaned. That's a standard that he upheld, which I guess is like misogynistic in a lot of like feminist people's eyes. But when it comes to Elon Musk, he straight up hates women because he wasn't born a woman. He's always had this fantasy of someday becoming a woman. Can't at this point because it's like the ship has sailed. So he takes out all of his anger and frustration over the fact that he wasn't born woman onto women. He's also gay on top of that. If I'm from him, he's I have genetic, biological ties to understanding him as well. Ever since I found out that Elon Musk is my actual father, I have felt really ugly. I used to think at 240 pounds, like before this whole Elon thing came about, myself in the mirror, and oh my god, like I'm really into myself, confidence up the roof. My dad instilled that in me. Adoptive dad was, you know, you're the beautiful wonder of the world. He didn't ever like try to fuck with.
I blame Gen X for sending us here, by the way.
With my sunshine. He always rose me up, always boosted my confidence and my ego. That's the point of a father, is to make their daughter feel beautiful. If you don't, then what are you doing? So I quickly caught on to what Elon's like agenda is. I'm going to treat Sarah Solari as if I treat any other woman. I'm going to disregard the fact that she's actually my daughter and I'm just going to treat her like a piece of shit. It has made me feel ugly. I'm like, I can't believe that I share genetic ties to this person who hates women so much and has put that on full display through his actions and behaviors. It hurts to accept and acknowledge that I'm a descendant of Elon Musk. I wish I weren't. If I could choose who I am a descendant of, it would be my adoptive father. It would be Sarah Solari, like him every single time. I just don't think Elon Musk is a good father figure at all. I don't think he's a good example of how fathers should treat their children at all. At all. I stand up for his kids every time he mistreats them. Like, no, that's not how you should treat children, especially if they're yours or any child for that matter. That's not how you should treat women. This is how you treat women. This is how you should treat women if you want to get in bed with them. You don't want to constantly buddy up with trans women who understand you. This is the way to get to a real woman's heart. He doesn't want to listen to that. He thinks that I don't know anything. Okay. If your next prospect is Eileen Gu, best believe she's going to want to be treated like a woman. Best believe if you want to have a child with a gold medalist, an Olympic gold medalist, she's going to want to be treated like a woman. She's not some like trans woman vix. You've got to treat her body as if she's a goddess, and I don't think you're ready for that challenge based on the way you still treat your daughter. That's a direct display of how a man's going to treat his partner is by the way he treats his own children, especially his daughter. And if you can't even get it together and act appropriately when it comes to your own daughter, how do you think that's going to make Eileen feel? Don't involve me in all that shit. I have made my point clear as day. I don't even want Elon Musk to claim me as his daughter. I don't want to claim Elon Musk as his father. It's just a talking point in conversation. Hey, like, how did you come about? How did you get your fame? How did you get people to know about you on the internet? Oh, because I'm Elon Musk's illegitimate child, like the rest of them, like the thousands of them. Like, it's not that special. Like, I found out the way everyone else finds out. It's not that special. It's just not that special. It's not that special.
How did y'all find out? You keep saying it like we accept this, that Elon Musk just has a list floating around of all his 20,000 illegitimate kids, but you're like, oh, just the same way everybody else did. How?
It's a consequence of who I am. It's a fault in me. That's all it means. It doesn't mean anything else. I don't claim him, the father who raised me or the father I'm taking after or the father I want my husband to be. You like daddies? Oh, you like daddies? I call myself mommy though sometimes because I have a dick size, so it just qualifies one. I would never want to marry someone who resembles Elon Musk, even in the slightest way. Even all of the abuse that has come my way and that I've seen him give others. I just don't think he's a fit person. He has a lot of incompetencies, a lot of insecurities, and he takes that out on anyone who's surrounding him. He's not a mature man. He's not ready for a serious relationship. And he's like, and he still acts like a 5-year-old child who's getting abused at school and then comes home and takes it out on his siblings. I don't want any part of that. Like, okay, Elon, everyone knows that you got bullied when you were younger. The way that you're taking your power back is by bullying your daughter in your own store, setting up for her to get harassed and threatened in your own store. That's how you're going to take your power back over being bullied left and right when you were a child. That's not very manly, Elon. Manly, that's not anything anyone should look up to in terms of proper behavior being exhibited by an adult, especially an adult who has children. That's just straight up abusive. You're making everyone not like you, Elon. I'm not playing any role in that. I'm simply always minding my own business when I get harassed and threatened in your fucking stores. I'm always just minding my own fucking business. I don't want anything to fucking do with you, Elon. I think you're fucking weird and ugly and fat. I don't think anything else of you other than being weird, ugly, fat, and honestly, I think you kind of have slight Down syndrome, and you don't want to admit it. You're good at 2 things. That's it. I don't consider me your therapist, but you should maybe consider those things. I do feel a little bit hurt that I was name called a.
Okay.
Once because what the fuck? This is coming from someone who. Okay, I'm gonna say this once and only once because what the fuck? This is coming from someone who was born with a snatch, still has a snatch, very proud of my snatch. Who come across the Google image I came across tonight exposing Vix Tamati on Facebook feed. I had a hunch maybe she could have given like all the pieces of the puzzle that I was able to form prior to that Google search, doing that Google search, and then doing the Google search. I know you guys are like, well, why didn't you do the Google search earlier and post that photo on Facebook like as soon as you step foot in Sonora to prove your point? And I get it. This is coming from someone who always has to do like a workaround to prove my point, to make it even like more impactful. I think that was like my hidden intention that I wasn't even like totally conscious of the entire time when I was leading people down that trail, only to reveal the big grand finale, which I guess doesn't even look that. It's not a big grand finale, but it's a grand finale for sure. That just confirms all of the rest of the claims that I made about that person. They're trans. Vix is trans. If you're new gen trans, I have a sibling, Vivian. I'm sure you guys know of her. As a trans woman, clear as day, trans woman, I support that new upcoming generation of trans people, but at the same time, we need to reconcile the older generation of trans people because that picture was of Vix when she was 22 years old and transitioning. So she looked older, of course, in the face when I saw her. At that point, she probably had taken like 20 years of estrogen pills in order for her to look the way that she looked. Even so, being at that point at 40 years old, I still was like questioning whether or not it was a man. And that simple Google search, when her picture showed up on her SoundCloud, I was like, being like a female birth woman who's like not involved in the trans community at all or the LGBTQ community at all, other than having a sibling who identifies as one of them. I look at a picture like that and automatically go like, oh, that's a man, that's a man. But then after doing my TikTok live and rewatching it, I'm like, wait a minute, that's a man. This is a man. And I know what JD's defense is going to be because this looks really bad for him. I know what his strategy is going to be. He's going to like try to turn around the information on me and be like, you're the, Vix, stop, it hurts. You're the man, Sarah. And like that has only worked for so long as far as it has. He can't come forth with a shred of evidence to prove that I'm a man or ever have been a man or want to be a man or fantasize myself as a man. Not one single shred of evidence or proof in sight. Where is the proof though? Pull up one picture of Vix on her SoundCloud, their profile picture on her SoundCloud. Patrick Star boots, fish tights on, red lipstick, nails done. Like, oh, okay, you guys have to understand, this is like groundbreaking news. I'm like living in my own bubble. I'm thinking about Detective Bell. I'm thinking about having children. I'm thinking about like my milk production. I'm building a family full of like healthy individuals. I'm not thinking about trans things, okay? My mind's not going there. So for you guys to like project all that trans ideology on me just goes to prove and show even more that that's where your minds live. And then on top of that, the profile picture on SoundCloud involving Vix Damati is just the fucking top of that. I mean, talk about expose of the generation. Can I get a hell yay? I deserve a gold medal. I just saved America and beyond. I deserve a gold medal. I saved the Eastern world. I saved the Western world. All because these men didn't want to confront that they're homosexual men. Doesn't want to come forward with the truthful information that would lead everyone to know, dude, that guy likes.
Oh my God, JD Vance is gay. Hashtag whistleblower, hashtag whistleblower rights, hashtag JD Vance, hashtag Vix, hashtag Sonora. JD's legal team, quote, wait, but why does she care so much? Go team.
JD Vance is gay and human and children, and you're supporting a CSAM watcher and contributor. When you pay that man any fucking mind, you're supporting, here we go, a CSAM watcher, a CSAM contributor, a wife beater, wife abuser, cheater, manipulator, narcissist, psychopath, a person who can sit up straight due to them injecting way too many in their system. What though? Doesn't even want to lift a finger unless it's for his Lord Vix. This is the type of man that you're supporting. And I'm going to cut this video to segment it, maybe, hopefully, if I can post it on TikTok within the TikTok guidelines. Best believe this is the most embarrassing story a politician will ever have to admit that they're a perpetrator of. Don't say I don't love you, JD. Business is business. I'm gonna play this video in trial after every single one of his paid rats who work as security guards drop him any little tidbits of information due to me being a guest at their show. We're gonna play this video right after they give their their witness testimony on the witness stand. Full on perjury. Perjury is a federal crime, by the way. That's how we're gonna get him out of the lot. But best believe me, the jury is gonna watch this and be like, clear as day, you were stalking her. Any information that you were able to gather from being implicit in JD Vance human trafficking, Sarah, not gonna look good for JD Vance's defense case. I suggest you pack up your snatch that you call a snatch on home because everyone has a right to a speedy trial. I get a lot of straight-facing men who haven't come out of the closet or like shaking in the booth right now being like, oh my God, what if that happened to me? It was that he was in the closet and he was also perpetuating hate crimes onto a Jewish female at birth. And you guys were all complicit in that human trafficking and slavery taking place. Doesn't look good for you. I don't care what your sexuality is. It's just the fact that he had to cover up that extent. At least these people who have come out of the closet have enough courage and ego to confront who they actually are in the mirror. He lacks even that.
Oh, is Eli the pathetic patriot? Is he a border patrol agent yet or whatever? ICE agent?
Bit of courage that would take. It makes the jokes even funnier because like when you misgender someone, they can brush it off because they're secure with their gender. You guys misgender me as a man, brush it off. I'm like, oh my God, there they go again. I'm like, the type of woman that you can't fuck with. I get it. Mike Myers woman style. And that makes men shaking their boots. And so I like brush it off. I'm like, you know, I'll joke around with them. They'll joke around with me. But when you get at these men's egos and show a reflection of their deepest, darkest secrets to everyone else who's watching it, and they sit in that humiliation just for a second, it makes them want to do something about it. If JD Vance was gay, he was open about it, wouldn't have any problem with JD Vance, but it's the fact that he hates me. And he thought he could do away with my life.
That's what he was doing, right?
Saving himself, which leads me to be disgusted in anyone else who he considers his friend at this point. It's like. It makes you all look bad. Okay, I'm gonna say this once and only once because what the fuck? This is coming from someone who was born.
So she's still crazy as fuck, just in case anybody was wondering. She's still really fucking crazy. What about Trump? He seems to be doing well. Not manic posting in the middle of the night, whatever. Oh, wait.
Last night, Donald Trump had a late-night meltdown on social media, which includes him posting a photo of him, J.D. Vance, and other members of his team shirtless, swimming in the reflecting pool in D.C., and I'm not joking. And actually, his posting spree started with that photo. At 11:03 p.m., he posted this AI image of him, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Doug Burgum, shirtless in the reflection pool in Washington, D.C. He's being very generous to his body right there, but this is a real post from the President of the United States in the middle of the night. Then at 11:04 p.m., he posted this very weird photo of
This is so fucking strange. What the fuck is this?
Melania Trump smiling.
Is this when she still didn't know if Trump had been shot or not?
After the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Just really strange. At 11:13 p.m., he called Hakeem Jeffries low IQ and called him a thug, another blatantly racist attack from Donald Trump. Then at 11:15, he posted this meme of him holding Uno cards saying, "I have all the cards. Yes, the cards of the Epstein file cover-up, war, and the economy sucking. Nice job." Then at 11:22, he posted this outline of him in gold. I don't know. 11:26 was a photo of him on Mount Rushmore. This has all taken place in like 20 minutes. 11:32, a photo of him and Melania, who hates him. 11:37, a photo of him and King Charles. 11:40, he said, "This is what our country was before and after Trump," and it apparently is a photo taken under Obama's term of the reflection pool in D.C., and then Trump's, who knows when this photo came from, but he's really focused on this body of water. And he continues, 11:41, another photo about the reflection pool, and then finally 11:45, the final post of the night, another post about the reflection pool in D.C. I will continue to say this about Donald Trump, and I won't stop until he's out of office. He is clearly unwell. This is not a sane individual when he's doing stuff like this on social media. Last night, Donald...
Here's the image. Look at him. Look at the body he gave himself. Why doesn't his head fit? Because he's fucking gigantic. That's why his head doesn't fucking fit his body. This is obviously not his body. I would like to see him topless one time at the beach or something. They all made fun of Joe Biden for going to the beach. Joe Biden's in decent shape for an old man. I don't know. Who the fuck is this supposed to be? You think this is Melania? Can someone smack at Suko, please? Found this lady.
What'd you do to my dog while you had her in your custody? Why she got camera? See, you can see the camera in her eye. See, you can see him in her eyes. What'd you do to my fucking dog while you had her in custody, motherfucker? What'd you do to my dog while you had her in your custody? Why she got camera? See, you can see the camera in her eye.
Who put cameras in this lady's dog's eyes?
See,
that's what we need to figure out.
What'd you do to my fucking dog while you had her? What'd you do to my
Where's the FBI when you need him?
dog while you had her in your custody? Why she got camera? See, you can see the camera in her eye. See, you can see him in her eyes. What'd you do to my fucking dog while you had her in custody, motherfucker? What'd you do to
What'd you do to this lady's dog?
And some other people, we fucking recognized him. He had a different name living here. Yeah. I said...
Here's you one, Dillingham.
You all fucking already know.
You fix her?
And some other people, we fucking recognized him. He had a different name living here.
You want to see something crazy? Memorize this face.
Yeah.
Memorize this face, okay? Here's the before. This is the before. This is the after.
I said, you all fucking already know. And some other people, wasn't somebody going
Not a cold spoon in the whole house.
by Elijah and I spotted that motherfucker right here? I mean, I said, where the fuck's my brother? You guys owe me fucking money and shit. Wasn't somebody going by Elijah? Yeah, when I got raped, I called him.
Yeah, that's her from like 4 years ago.
When I got drugged and raped. Go to Oregon. It's overpopulated with mountain lions. You can be walking out there and you'll come up on them. I've been out there. I've been through all those paths. I know. I'm not afraid to. I just walk through it with
How does drug use happen?
shadow. They don't attack me in shadow. They've spotted a mountain lion over here, a big one. It's not attacking us. So I don't know what. What? I used to have a mouth slot. Shadow would.
Drugs destroy your body, cause weird ticks, cause it's fucking, you know, it's fucking poison you're shooting up to get high.
What? The mailman would come up and put the melt through the melt slot. Shadow would grab it out of the hand on the other side of the door. What? I made the comment. Start putting.
Plus, you care a lot less. Stop taking care of yourself. Stop eating. You get malnourished. There's a bunch of things that go into it, but it's poison.
Snakes and spiders and where they're at. Maybe they'll all scatter.
And that's all you want anymore. Actually, there's a really good guy that does. There's a really good guy that's been clean for like 6 years, and he does these stories. He's got pictures and shit. It's really good. Check this out.
POV, a day from hell during the peak of addiction, the worst cotton fever I ever had. So you wake up in this field behind this pole.
This is literally where he would sleep every night.
And you are withdrawing on.
He's clean now. He's been clean for like 6 years.
Vannies and Fetty, cold turkey. You don't even wipe the crust out.
That's him begging.
Force yourself to get up. You grab your cardboard sign and you walk to the corner. They're sick and tired of seeing your face.
He was there so often. He's on Google Maps.
They're on their way to work while you're standing there begging all day. You're getting desperate because it's the middle of the summer in Miami and the sun is absolutely beating on you. The sweat that's coming out your pores feels like it's literally burning your skin. You need to get a fix ASAP. Finally, somebody rolls the window down and they give you $2. As the light changes to green and you step back out onto the sidewalk to walk back to the front, you hear a beeping sound. But it's not just any beeping sound, it's a cop beeping sound. And he stops you and he asks you, what does your sign say? And you show it to him. It says, homeless and hungry. That's when he tells you, you know there's no soliciting allowed here. And you tell him, I'll leave, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But he says it's too late for that. I'm going to give you an ultimatum. Either you go to the shelter or you go to jail. Your choice. And I never want to see you back out on this corner ever again, or I'm taking you directly to jail. So reluctantly, you tell him, okay, I'll go to the shelter. No problem. They take you to this secluded road and you see 5 of your friends standing in the grass area over here. And like I said, the sun is absolutely beating down at this time. They throw the 6 of you into this little prisoner transport van with no air conditioning. You guys are basically sitting on top of each other, and all of you guys are withdrawing. And all you have in your pocket is $2. They drive you guys about an hour away to this shelter right here. It's called The Hack, and they have 2 of them in Miami-Dade County. One is in the city of Miami, and the other one is way out in Homestead, near the Everglades. You spend about 15 minutes doing your intake process, and then you jet out of there. You need to get back to your panhandling spot quick, because you are getting really, really sick. So you beg the bus driver to let...
Every day they just beg. He begs for enough money to get high.
You on for free, and then you take
he doesn't feel like shit.
Back up to your panhandling spot.
I mean, he doesn't even really get high anymore, right? Like they might nod off, pass out, fold over, but they don't feel high anymore. They just don't feel sick anymore.
At this point, you are so sick that you're not even able to panhandle. You're not even physically capable of panhandling at this point. People don't understand how crippling Fetty and Zanny withdrawal really are. So you decide to jump on the train and go to the trap and beg the plug for a front. You say to yourself, I spent hundreds of dollars with him most days. He should look out for me. I think he's going to do it. So you arrive to the trap and the plug says, how many do you need? You tell him, listen, I have a problem. And he interrupts you and he repeats himself, how many do you need? And you ask him, can you please just front me 1? I'll pay you back double. He looks you dead in the eyes and tells you, bro, you better get out of here. The cops are everywhere right now. So you start start to walk around to look for one of your addict friends who you've helped out in the past. You run into your buddy who's standing in front of the corner store. You tell him what happened. You tell him you almost went to jail. You're in serious withdrawal. Can you please look out and get me right? And that's when he says, bro, I only have one bag. But you tell him, bro, do you know how many times I've helped you out? And he says, fine, I'll give you a little bit. Let's go. As you guys are walking to find somewhere to do the substances, he goes into a trash can and he pulls out a used water bottle. You guys go to the park and you start to prepare the substances. And you're looking at the water bottle and the water inside is like yellowish and it has like particles floating around in it. But you don't care. You're sick. You've used puddle water to shoot up before. And he barely gives you anything. You basically just shot up a needle full of dirty, disgusting water. You don't even feel well. You start to walk back to the train station and that's when it hits you. You can't even walk at this point. It feels like your skin is literally burning off. The humidity is on another level. It feels like you're literally camping out on the sun. You're dry heaving. You're dizzy. You have the worst headache ever. And it's so crippling. You literally give yourself two options. You tell yourself, I'm either going to jump in front of the train or I'm just going to lay on a sidewalk and find somewhere to detox cold turkey and pray that one of my buddies that I've looked out for will find me and help me get right. And so you go right here to this sidewalk, which is right across the street from the train station, and you lay there in fetal position and you are completely restless. You're rolling around. Your anxiety is on a complete other level. You're still dry heaving. You're starving because you haven't had food in your stomach in like 2 days, but you can't eat anything because you're withdrawing. Your body is so dehydrated. At this point, you're just begging God that he'll do something to take you out of this misery. And you literally tell God that if he helps you get well, you're going to go directly to treatment because you are sick of suffering and living this way. Finally, night falls. It's dark out. There's nobody around. You're tossing and turning and you're in full-blown withdrawal. And that's when you hear some bike wheels approaching you. So you look up and it's your buddy Brian and he just got out of jail. And then you hear him say, Redhead, are you okay, bro? And that's when he tells you he just got out of jail and his mom just sent him $100 via Western Union. And he was just about to go into this parking garage and do his substances. And he tells you, come on, bro, I got you. I'm going to look out for you. It's literally 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. The odds of this happening are like 1 in a million. This was God's sign that he was working with you. And so you guys go into the parking garage, you do your substances. And now that you feel better, that idea of going to rehab goes out the window. Tell yourself every single day, I'm going to rehab. But then as soon as you get well and out of withdrawal, all that goes out the window. You don't end up in rehab for another 3 whole years. Then in 2020, you get into a rehab and you've been clean and sober now for 6 years. Follow me for more stories about being homeless and addicted and how I got clean and sober 6 years ago.
Crazy story, ain't it?
POV, a day from hell.
He's got a shit ton on his page. Jonah ZX6R. That's what a bunch of his stories are about getting clean, going to jail. Going to jails and I don't think I've seen this one.
This is me during the peak of active Fetty and Xanny addiction, and this is what it's like to go to jail where I'm from. So the first thing that happens, like usual, is you get arrested. Everybody drags their feet around here, including the cops. So you can sit in the back of a cop car without AC for up to an hour or sometimes even longer while they start your paperwork and everything. Then in the city of Miami, they take you to the Miami police station. They bring you inside and they cuff you to a bench around a bunch of other detainees. This is the actual real thing right here. You sit there cuffed to a bench while the cops are doing the rest of your paperwork. Now, if you're withdrawing off anything during this point, it's going to be literal torture because throughout this process, all you want to do is lay down. But instead, you're forced to sit up straight on really uncomfortable benches and chairs. And finally, once they have enough people, they throw you in the back of a van like this. If you're claustrophobic, then good luck to you because you're literally sitting on top of each other in there. Just so you can get an idea of how much space you have. And there's literally 4 people on each side. The jail is 35 minutes away from the police station, so you got to sit in that little ass
But if you go to jail, will they give you something for withdrawal? Or did you just got to fucking suffer?
paddy wagon for at least 30 minutes. This is a clip that actually made the news. This is a line of police cars that are waiting on an average night to book inmates into the jail. Imagine sitting in the back of one of these cars withdrawing off Fetty and Xanny's cold turkey. It's the definition of torture. Those cars are all waiting so you can get into this area right here. And once you finally get out of the car, you walk through a metal detector and you go into your first room where you sit there and you wait for them to print out your arrest affidavit. They take your property. You just have to answer like a few basic medical questions. And once all that's taken care of, they'll come get you in groups of like 5 so you can go to the other side, which is where you get your mugshot taken and you get strip searched. Once you get your mugshot and you get strip searched, you sit down in these chairs around a bunch of other volatile, pissed off inmates. You get screened by a nurse, and if they determine that there's any reason whatsoever that you see the doctor, then you got to sit there and wait for hours upon hours. And for me, I always went in there detoxing. And if I wasn't detoxing, I was going to be detoxing. Every time they do shift change, they throw you into a little small holding cell around all the other inmates. It's literally so small. There's only 2 little benches and a toilet. It's so packed in there that you can't even sit down. Like, you have to stand up. So if you're withdrawing, you're literally just going to wish you could. They bring you back out here, and then eventually you'll get called in to see the doctor. If you're detoxing off Fetty, Xannies, alcohol, anything like that, they're just going to give you some out of it. I heard that nowadays they give you subs, but I don't know how true that is. Even after you see the doctor, you still got to wait forever for them to come get you and bring you up to your cell. Back in the day, the detox unit used to be in a psych unit, so you would literally be put in a cell with these big windows on the doors, and the lights didn't go out. But I think in 2016, they changed it to just a regular unit. But the thing is, you don't leave your cell. You have a little mat and a little boat bed, they call it, and you don't even have a blanket. All you have is a sheet, no pillow, nothing. But at least the lights can turn turn off. This whole process from the point you get arrested to the point you get up to your cell can take over 48 hours. Throughout this whole process, there's nowhere to lay down. So you're sitting up straight. If you're detoxing, you're literally just going to wish you were. And the COs are so desensitized. They do not care about you at all. Miami-Dade jail system is so bad that they were under federal oversight from 2013 up until July of last year because they were violating the civil rights of the inmates because of how poor the conditions were. Now, if you commit a crime, you deserve to be punished. But if you're just an addict who's in there for possessing substances, you don't deserve to be tortured. But in all fairness, it was these poor experiences that helped me get clean and sober because I never want to have to live through anything like that again. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse, send me a DM and follow me for more. This is me during the peak of active Fetty and Xanny addiction. And this is what it's like to go to jail where I'm from. So the first thing...
Damn. Horrible story. But they ought to show these to fucking teenagers or some shit. I don't know. Shut up, Itsuko. Feeling better, my ass. You're the one who canceled the show last night, and I already told everybody. Did you guys see this? They released an AI video of the shooter.
Yeah, they released HD surveillance footage from the shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I have questions. Here it is, and we're going to focus on this area up here where you're going to see him walk into that doorway. So here we go. He walks in, nonchalant. You're going to see a canine officer.
Follows him immediately, and they talk for a minute.
Come in, and the dog follows him into that room. And then you'll see him pull back the dog, and then it looks like they have a conversation.
And as soon as he turns around, dude comes fucking sprinting with a shotgun.
Looks like he's talking to him there. And he's finally going to turn away, and literally seconds later, he comes out armed with the shotgun.
Like, how was that guy talking to him? And then was a shotgun behind his back or something? What the fuck? That's weird.
Shotgun. A couple things noteworthy. First, what's in his hands? I see nothing. I certainly don't see a long shotgun in his hands as he walks in there. Doesn't look like his jacket is big enough to hide it if it's in pieces. And then he had time to assemble it while this guy's literally staring through the doorway? Because I didn't see anything in his hands.
And they were already taking down the magnetometers. That's weird, right? The metal detectors.
This guy's just kind of chilling there. And then it's the moment he turns, he comes out with it fully assembled. And look at the size of this thing. Was that on him? Or had he stashed that there prior? And if so, how was that missed? How did no one find a firearm stashed in a room right next to security? Moving on, he will exit. He'll come sprinting through here, and you're going to see this guy fire multiple shots. There you go. There was at least 3 there. As everybody just kind of scatters and seems confused.
I'm so surprised this guy didn't shoot all these people because he misses this guy.
And it's worth noting, this guy walked into a room right there, seemed to be being watched almost the whole time he was in that room, and yet somehow got his hands on a shotgun, then sprinted through here.
I've heard the lady say that. Is that a can of tuna in your pocket?
And all of these guys missed him.
I just say I'm built different.
None of them were paying attention except for this one officer, who then proceeds to miss him at close range. At one point, this guy's basically standing in front of him. I understand he's running, but he missed him with every shot. And also, never see his firearm go off. I don't see him shooting at him. He points toward him. But, I mean, a shotgun, even if there isn't a muzzle flash, it puts out a lot of energy when it's fired, and I don't see a shot go off. And last but certainly not least, that was not the first footage we got, remember? We initially got this super low res garbage footage of that incident happening. Then we got a higher res.
So before we got the real video, we got this weird AI video, which I'm zoomed in to show you here. Hold on. Let me zoom out some.
Version in between this version we have now, that was clearly AI slop. We knew it was AI slop because
like this guy's wearing a hat in this video, but he's not in this video. He's looking a different direction in this video than he is in this video. There's shit like disappearing from the gunman. He's like holding a piece of paper, then he's not.
That paper disappeared.
And he goes back like he's stabbing or something. Like, obviously this is AI, but they released it.
Tears into his chest. That paper seeming to be the metal.
See how it looked like he had a piece of paper at the start? Hold on.
Don't see a shot go off. And last but certainly not least, that was not the first footage we got, remember? We initially got
looks like he has a poster board at
super
first.
low res garbage footage of that incident happening. Then we got a higher res version in between this version we have now that was clearly AI slop. We knew it was AI slop because like that paper disappears into his chest, that paper seeming to be the metal detector, but also nothing in his hands. He's not armed in the original one we got. He's armed in the new one. And you can see this is clearly the same footage.
So weird.
By matching what the people are doing. Also in that version, this agent is looking in a different direction and wearing a hat. See what I mean? He has a baseball cap on and he's looking.
So weird we even got an AI version released. No? Isn't that weird?
Wrong way. My question is, why did we get this version? We were always going to get this in some way, shape, or form. They're always going to release this. Why did they make an AI version? And then if they're willing to make one AI version, how do we know they didn't make more than one AI version? Which then begs the question, which is real? Is him with nothing in his hands real? Or is him with the shotgun in his hands real? Is no metal detector real? Or is metal detector real? My takeaway from this is this administration is way too comfortable utilizing AI. And this just raises more questions about how inept everything had to be if this is a legitimate threat and this guy was on his own and this was not a setup.
Why are they already taking down the metal detectors? Wouldn't they keep them up for the whole event? I mean, I understand, like, let's say you go to, like when we go to Liam's soccer game. If you get there in the first half, you go through the ticket gate, you have to pay the ticket, and it's like $7 a person or whatever to get in. But if you come in the second half, the ticket's already closed up, whatever. You're seeing just the second half of the game, you don't have to pay. I don't think that an event that the president's at is like, oh, okay, you know, the vast majority of people's already in there. Let's close down the security stations.
For this have all to played out this way, based on what we can see with our own eyeballs. Yeah, they released HD.
I don't know. None of it makes sense. I'm going to end it there because Itsuko pissed me off. Thank you guys for joining us. I tried to push through, but I just can't do it. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Listen to me, bitch. Support the show so we can take down Itsuko once and for all. I will bring the Godzilla to her Tokyo. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that's.
I think when I start working on things, I want to get Meta glasses, but they don't record very long. So I'm thinking about just getting like a chest rig for a GoPro, maybe. At least you can change the batteries in it and keep going. But I'd like to be able to, like, a lot of times I get in a hurry. Like when I did the EGR valve on Dad's van, I wanted to record it. But like all of it's like up in the dash. I don't have a good place to like set up a tripod and my phone and shit. So I'm gonna have to come up with an idea for that.
Strapped to an F6.
Either a head mount or a chest mount camera.
Put on a light, hold a baby.
I like the idea of meta glasses because wherever I look, it looks. I don't have to worry about framing my chest to what I'm doing, you know. But I think they only record for like they record in 30 minutes, or I'm sorry, like 1 minute or 3 minutes or whatever intervals, and then just for like an hour or a couple hours. Hold on, let's look.
You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that
3-minute clips.
Cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it.
They overheat if you record too much when it's hot.
Well, it's all over. Hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on Cox that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know. Hit his ass on throwing bullshit, shit and bronze.
Somebody said they only get 18 minutes total recording from 100% battery life. So they sent theirs back for replacement. Hold on.
About baby eating heathens, believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the griffs. Here we go,
I get 9 videos, 27 minutes solid recording time.
Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
I get 28 minutes, 100% to 0. Like 30 minutes not long enough to work on some shit, you know what I mean? Some people say if I drop the resolution, I can get up to 40 minutes.
You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's really pathetic.
That won't even catch a good argument with me in it. Have a good night, guys. Everybody but it's Suko.